Zora, you get your butt over here and do the chores at once. This will be 1 week of you not listening to a single word I've been saying to you. Do you have any idea what that means for you? That means you are going to have to come here and clean up 1 week's worth of garbage. That means you're going to have to come and clean up 1 week's worth of laundry. That means you're going to have to come here and buy 1 week's worth of groceries to fill this empty fridge with. It has been 1 week now since you cleaned the house, so now everything is covered in a layer of dust. And it has been 1 week since you cleaned out the inside of my bathtub, which has led to there being a thin layer of grime forming in there that is completely disgusting. You seriously need to get a grip, woman. Now come on, hurry up and get that tiny little butt of yours over here and do the chores. I want the chores done now. Now. Jace, can we talk right now? There is something I'd like to ask you about, actually. Something very important that I thought was already handled.
Hey, Zora. Today is my day off, so I can talk with you all day if you'd like. Now tell me, what did you want to ask?
You talked with your mom about how I want to go back to her house during my last 3 months of pregnancy before I have to give birth, right?
Of course I spoke to her about that. When you first went over to their house about a week ago, I spoke with my mom about it, and she understood everything I was saying. At first she was totally against having you go over to her place, but when I spoke with her about how I'd have to leave to Australia for a while based off a work transfer I got, she said it should be fine letting you come. So, all in all, she did come around to saying yes and making it at least sound like she understood what you wanted to do.
I see. Well, for some reason it doesn't seem at all like she understood what you and I meant.
What? What do you mean by that?
I'll send you a screenshot of all the things your mom was saying to me today by text, and I think that'll give you a hint as to what I mean by her not understanding.
Sure. What was she going on about? You were only gone for 2 hours, and my mom was drilling into you about how you needed to come back to her house and do all those chores for her.
Ever since you and I got married, this has happened from time to time, but I had thought that me being pregnant now would get me a pass, and I wouldn't have to worry about all those things anymore. I don't think she cares about the fact that I need to rest and care for this baby.
When I spoke to her, though, she told me she understood and was fine with you going to her place. Later, I'll give her a call and explain to her in more detail what I meant by that.
All right, please do that for me.
And if she continues to act like that towards you, you don't have to bother with listening to her. Honestly, you can go ahead and just block her if you really want to.
No, I'm not going to block your mom's phone number, Jace.
Are you sure about that, though?
This is something my mom told me before, and that's that it's best to make sure both sides are completely calm before making any moves so that things are understandable for both people.
I see. So basically there is no point in shutting her out by blocking her until she's calmed down and we understand one another.
That's right. If I were to block her right now while she's still upset, I would only be making things worse for the both of us.
Well, it's not like my mom knows anything about where your family lives. So even if you did block her, there'd be no way for her to find you if you moved back to their house.
But we should be a bit more cautious before making such a big move as that.
Understood. But really, I'm sorry that my mom is always doing things like this. I never, and I mean never, thought that this would happen again. The moment I left for Australia, it seems my mom took that as the perfect time to start bullying you again. And right after I explained to her that you just wanted to relax at her place before having our baby.
Jace.
However, due to this, I've remembered something. I've told you before about how I have an older brother who's 5 years older than me, right?
Oh, right. You told me about him once. You said that while you were in college, he went and got married and moved into a place close to your parents' house, right? However, after just 6 months, his wife and him both moved away without telling anyone in your family and has pretty much cut ties to all of you ever since.
That's right. Him and I are still talking every so often, actually, but he won't ever tell me where he and his wife moved away to. Really, we just talk whenever he wants something from me. And every single time we talk, he makes sure to tell me not to tell my mom and not to give her his contact information. That's how badly he wants to stay away from her, I guess.
Hey, don't tell me...
You know what this means. I only just started to think about this a bit more. But my mom must have really harassed the heck out of my brother's wife.
Don't you think it'd be a good idea to ask your brother about that? I'm sure if you explain to him what's been happening with me, he'd want to open up a bit.
Hey, that's a great idea. I'll ask and see. Now, I should be getting back to the States when it comes time for you to have the baby, but until then, do not be afraid to call me if you have anything you need from me. The time zone difference kinda sucks, but I'll make sure to always keep my phone by me for you.
Thank you. Will do.
Zora, you went and tattled on me to Jace, didn't you? I want to know what all you told him about me. Because he was beyond upset with me when he called. He told me to stop making a pregnant woman do all my chores and that I needed to be the one taking care of you. But I know what this is all about. You are just using your pregnancy as an excuse to not come to my house anymore to clean. I don't mind you staying at my house and relaxing, but that does not mean you can slack off from doing the chores here. If you understand that, you will be working all day from sunrise to sunset starting tomorrow. I'm going to make sure you make up for that whole week of not doing any of the chores here by forcing you to do them all in one day. Come here at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Jace, your mom is doing exactly what we predicted.
What?
Can I send you some more screenshots of the text she sent me? I can tell you what she told me, but I think it would be far more easy to understand if you just looked at these for me.
Sounds good. Please send them all to me. Thanks for those screenshots of everything. So it seems that me warning her about what she'd been doing didn't make things any better? And actually just caused her to start throwing a fit about it.
That's what it looks like. I don't think you warning her is going to be of any use to us from here on out.
I went and chatted with my brother about what happened with him and his wife, and he told me exactly what we thought. The reason those two left is because my mom would harass his wife. And I'm sure the reason why my dad divorced her a year ago had to do with the way she was behaving as well. At least that's what my brother was saying to me about my mom. My brother told me the reason he never said anything to me before about all of this is because he thought things would change after he ran away from my mom. And the reason he would always ask things from me about how my life was going was to check up on me and make sure nothing had gotten worse.
I see.
Yet my mom is doing the exact same thing she did to my brother's wife, to you now. And it doesn't seem like she's going to listen to anything. Anyway, we cannot let her behavior towards you carry on all the way up to when you have our babies, so we have to do something. My mom doesn't know anything about your parents' house, right?
I don't think so.
But who's to say she won't be able to find out?
I'm sorry this has you all worked up while you're on your business trip.
Don't be. She's my mom, so I should be sorry for all the crap she's causing you now.
I have talked with both of my parents about your mom, and they said they can help me deal with her if need be. So, do you think you can start to think of what to do after I have our babies?
So, about what to do once you've had our babies?
Of course, I'll be thinking about all of that as well. I'll take a look online and see what others have to say about things like this.
Good idea. If we don't think about what to do after you have the twins, then there's no telling what my mom might do to get to them, and to take even more advantage of you by harassing you. Honestly, I can only see one outcome to all of this. Maybe it's best that we leave some of this stuff in the hands of your parents, since they are there in the States with you and can give you the best support. When the time comes, though, where I want to pull the plug on her, I'll let you know.
Understood. Tell me whenever you want to and are ready.
Mom, I have something to tell you. Very late last night, Zora gave birth to 2 cute twins. She didn't have any complications, and we now have 2 little boys.
Is that right? Congratulations, Jace.
Now listen, Mom. Please, please, please do not do anything to make the situation any worse between Zora and you now, since she just gave birth and is very tired.
All right. I suppose I'll be going now. Oh, thanks for the good news. I heard the news. You gave birth to both of your babies without there being any complications. However, what does it matter that you had both of those babies in the middle of the night? You don't have to carry the both of them around now, so you can come here and cook for me, clean for me, and do the laundry for me right now. I will not allow you to slack off any longer. Now you get back to my house right now, and don't you dare waste even a second more. Linda, you've given birth to a baby before, right? Excuse me? Well, I was shocked to finally see you replying to me for once, and that's the kind of rude question you're going to ask me?
So does this mean you don't understand anything about what happens immediately after giving birth? Because in most people's cases, you have to stay at the hospital for a while afterwards, and for about a day, you don't have the energy to do anything besides lay in bed.
I am tired of listening to your stupid arguments. Get your ass over here right now.
Is that what you really want? Understood. Jace, I just got a couple of texts from your mom.
And how did things end up going?
I'm really sorry to have to say this, but it's no use anymore. She not only knows about how I had to stay up all night giving birth, but that I had to give birth to 2 babies at the same time. Yet the only thing she had to tell me was that I couldn't slack off from doing her chores, and that I had to go over to her house right now. She even told me not to waste a second more.
Is that so? I guess this is it then. You can leave the rest of this to me.
Excuse me, Zora. I just heard the doorbell ring and I thought that it was you finally showing up to do all these chores. What the hell is going on right now?
So this means your son has finally arrived at your house then? He also brought along some of your family as well as some of my family, which means there should be 15 people in total there right now to see you.
I never said that I wanted Jace coming over here. I said that I wanted you. You. Now I have 15 people in my house right now, all doing the chores for me, and that's not what I asked for.
You told me that your place hasn't been touched in forever and needed to be cleaned up badly, right? So I thought that instead of having me, a smaller woman who just gave birth to twins and is all beaten up now, come to your place, it would be better to have 15 healthy people come over and do all that work for you.
But can you even imagine what things are like right now?
I'm sorry, but I'm starting to feel a bit sick again, so I'm going.
Zora? I am asking you to please do something about all this. At least get all of your family out of my place. I've even been trying to get Jace to do something about all of this, but he won't answer me. Besides, with a massive grin on his face as he vacuums the floors. Jace, what the hell have you been doing? I thought all of you guys had come to my house to clean it all up for me, but really, you all were working to prepare my house for me to move out?
Have you gotten off the plane now and arrived at your new home?
I thought that you said you were moving me closer to your brother. But now I'm out at this tiny house in the middle of nowhere with nothing around me.
Well, at least you can be away from all of us now, and we'll find it hard to trouble anyone out there.
Huh? I'll find it hard to trouble anyone out here?
Mom, do you still have no idea why you've been forced into such a sad situation as that?
What are you trying to say that I've done?
So you really have no idea then, huh? Well, let me give you the answer then. You've been harassing my wife.
Huh?
You did it once before with Jake's wife as well, right? And when his wife told him about how you'd been bullying her so much, he moved away from his house near you and never spoke to you again, right? He was really hoping something like that would have opened your eyes and that you would have learned your lesson. But nothing changed, and this time you chose to start harassing my wife when she'd been carrying our twins.
Hold on a minute. What are you going on about right now? It is the job of the husband's wife to listen to whatever his mother asks of her, no matter what, right? As a way of teaching her how to become a good wife for you, I was asking that she do all of my chores here and learn from them. Don't you dare start calling that something as barbaric as me harassing her.
Is that right? Since it doesn't seem like you're ever going to take responsibility for what you've done and change your ways, I really don't have any other choice. I'm taking a page out of Jake's book here, and I'm going to leave you now.
What?
Right after I got back from Australia, I had a word with my boss and asked that I transfer to another office out of state. And so we've moved.
What? You also moved out of your old place?
Yeah. And along with the move, I'll be changing my last name to that of Zora's. And that will set me cutting ties to you in stone, I think.
Jace!
Goodbye forever.
Jace? Jace!
It was a major shock to Jace that he had to live with his actual mother being the type of person who thought it was totally okay to harass her son's wives like that. But after being transferred to a new office and the four of us moving into a new home, where he could spend time with his newborn babies, he began to realize that it didn't matter anymore what kind of a monster she was. He's now feeling a whole lot better and will go out with my dad sometimes to go golfing, and will help my mom go do grocery shopping when he has the chance, creating a wonderful atmosphere within my family. Just a few days ago, I was even able to meet my brother-in-law and his wife for some dinner and drinks. Jace's brother was even kind enough to tell us where him and his wife are living now after the dinner we had. And it turns out they're both really close to our place and my parents' house. Which pretty much means from here on out, we'll all be seeing each other a whole lot more and rekindling the bond between two brothers. Now, let's talk about what happened with Linda herself after Jace cut ties to her. She was flown out to the middle of nowhere in the Rocky Mountains, where she's now set up in a small cabin close to a very small town with not very many people living in it at all. The only way for her to get out of that town is by plane from the local airport or by car, taking around 8 hours in all directions. Both Jace and I thought that the town would be a great place for her, considering most of the people in the town were close to her age. But it turned out not a lot of them liked her toxic and childish behavior, and so she was shunned by a lot of them and will end up living the rest of her life all by herself, with no one coming to help with her chores. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.